And we are live in 3, 2, 1, go. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and good day. My name is Daniel Umstead, for those that don't know me, and you are tuning in live to the RNG radio show. I am also the owner of the Nathaniel group, which covers credit repair, resume writing, which we're actually doing for free. I know, it's insane. Why would you provide a service, Dan, that's free when it's not going to benefit you? Well, actually it does. It does benefit me, because here's the thing. I noticed that when people are in need of a job, they're trying to look for a house. When people are looking for a house, they're trying to get their credit. So it all falls in line. Speaking of which, so credit repair, real estate. Yes, by the way, I am also a realtor with EXP, for those that don't know. So, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for coming. It is an honor to see you this morning. I appreciate you so much. It just brings tears to my eyes to see that you're viewing me this morning. So, without further ado, we're going to talk about this show. So, first and foremost, I had mentioned this. I am so sorry. I mentioned this, and then, I'm getting up this morning, I'm like, oh, damn. Weren't you supposed to go over the 12 free services included with the credit repair that's offered through your credit repair program? I was like, I did. Didn't I say that? I did say that. I think I did say that. So, for the next 12 days, we shall discuss every single free program that is offered. And then we'll talk about a little bit of real estate. We'll talk about a little resume writing. We'll do a little motivation. And as a new feature on the show, which was actually inspired by the Joshua Shore. Josh, I didn't forget about you. You will see that video later on today. But we were talking, and we were talking about the concept of including something regarding African Americans, or how we're discussing African Americans and who they are. Come to find out, I didn't know that the Me Too movement started by a black woman. Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. So, first things first, credit repair. If you are in need of credit repair, though, 267-702-3756, I would be more than happy to assist you. Or my girlfriend is also doing it as well, 856-412-2118. I know what you're thinking. Did you just give out your girlfriend's phone number on the air? Is you cray-cray? Well, here's the thing that she's going to do. You see how fine this man is? Bam! What's going to happen is when you do reach out to her, and if ain't about credit repair, click. So, that goes with that. Because I love that woman. Now, budgeting. So, here's one of the free services that we offer through UCES protection plan. Budgeting. It's been proven time and time again that creating a budget can help you pay off your debt. By all means, if you got $20 and you budget in that, hey, I want $5 of that 20 be set aside, boom, you'll be good to go. And if you keep consistent with that, hey, you'll get there much faster. So what does UCES do differently than what you would do with either a budgeting plan app or such? So what we do is each month we'll track your progress and place it into a budgeting report. That's allowing you to see the impact of following and maintaining a budget. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, well, what do you mean? So with the budget plan, now this is something that you got to do, folks. It's not something that they just pull out of the clear blue sky and say, hey, there, Daniel, how are you today? We noticed that you spent $25 on medicine. Are you going to spend $25 again on medicine? We believe so. So we're going to make sure that we add that. It's not how that works, folks. You still need to plug in the information just as you would with any budget. But it is modernized. It is easy to input. You can preset categories, making it simple to track your money. So if everything is like under health, like medical bills and such, you can pretty much just put it right there. You can save time by transferring previous data to a following month. So if you know that every single month you're paying a cell phone bill of $100 plus, hey, for those that are paying that, come talk to me. I got a plan for you. And you can edit your budget from a month prior and prepare your budget for 2 months forward. And ultimately, the budget report is there to track your progress. Now, I know what you're thinking, Dan, so you telling me in order for me to budget properly, I need to sign up with you? No, I'm just letting you know about one of the free services that's included with the credit repair to get you to where you need to go to. Now, if you're like those that's like, well, my credit score is actually a 750 or plus, or I really don't need the credit repair, but I still want a budget, Dan, what can I do? Well, I went on to DaveRamsey.com, and there's the truth about budgeting. Like, there was some lies about budgeting. I don't know what that is. So he has 15 budgeting tips for your daily life. 15? We're only going to go over 5 today. So the first one, budget to zero before the month begins. Now, budgeting to zero, yes, it does mean exactly that, down to the penny where every dollar is accounted for. Because here's what happens. When you have $100 and you're saying like, oh, $5 is this, 20 is to that, 25 is to this, 35 is to that, and 15 is to this, you have a better set plan. But if you just say, $100, what? I got an extra $50? What? Oh, snickety snap. It's not going to benefit you in the long run because that amount is not equated, is not accounted for. And what happens is that you end up possibly overspending or underspending, completely forgetting about it. And it could have been used towards those credit cards. So do the budget together. Now, this is like if you're married, you got a spouse, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. And it's something that I actually did with my girlfriend as well. If you're married, sit down once a month and just have a family budget night. Now, have some fun with it. Don't just sit there and like, so what are we looking at for next month? I don't know, dearie. What did you want to do? Let's just take a look at this. Let's get the pen and paper out. All right. Did we pay our cable bill? Yeah. Did we pay the electric? It's a little high this month, don't you think? Yeah. Hey, make some fun of it. It's a family budgeting night, you know. Have the kids involved in it. And I know what you're thinking. I don't need my kids all up in my finances. Well, don't you want to prepare them for the future? Don't you want to make them more, I don't know, budget-friendly conscious? Yes. Yes, you do. Don't eat your... Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I know you do. All right, so do the budget together, you know. It's not going to take that long, and if it should, hey, make it a part 2. Make it a sequel. Tonight on Family Budgeting Night. To be continued. Dad and Mom are stuck on who's paying the cable bill. We'll find out more tomorrow on next episode of Family Budgeting Night. So, yes, do the budget together. And then, now, if you're single, you've got nobody. Find an accountability partner that's going to help you stick to your goals. And somebody, of course, that you can trust. Now, if you don't have anybody that you can trust or somebody that you're reaching out to, but you like this space right here, send me a text, 267-702-3756. We'll set up a 5-minute quick chat and call, and I'll just give you some basic steps that you can go over and, you know, coach you along the way as far as something to be accountable. Now, number 3, every month is different. How many, y'all know that? Y'all know that the bills that you pay for in June ain't the same as that you pay for in July. Now, the rent's due every month. The mortgage is due every month. Your cell phone bill is due every month. There's a lot that is doing every single month, you know, and especially when we get towards the holidays and even 4th of July is coming up, you want to be looking at like, oh, shoot, we got to pay for this. I completely forgot that was coming up. So, and that's another thing too, as far as budgeting. Now, when should you budget or how long should you budget for it? I just want to point this out. 3 months in advance. Honestly, 3 months in advance, get you prepared for those basics. And I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, Dan, that's insane. Why would I want to do that? Because there might be certain things that you can pull from the future that you can apply to now. And there might be certain things that you forgot about that's going to be happening in the future that you need to apply to now. So every month is different. Be sure to adjust your budget each month as things change. Number 4, start with the most important categories first. Now, you know, food, shelter, utilities, basic clothing, and transportation. And that transportation goes towards your gas. Hey, how much gas are you using on an average week? Now, most of you, you know, for those that are still working, probably are working from home in some capacity. So your gas really isn't being utilized. But what you want to look at for transportation is like, oh shoot, when's the next time I need to get brakes done? By the way, I need to get brakes done. When do I need to get an oil change? You know, is there any type of maintenance that I need to get done on the car right now? So that is part of your transportation budget that you should be looking at. Like for my oil change, I got about another 4,000 miles before I even get there. So But I want to keep in the back of my mind, okay, I need to have $50 set aside for my oil change. Definitely do. Synthetic, folks. I know, it's crazy. Now, listen, I ain't trying to go to Jiffy Lube. They charge like an arm and a leg. That's woo-ha. That's crazy. That's crazy, people. Why would somebody do that? That's insane. So, start with your most important categories first. Like I said, basic clothes, transportation. But here's the first line item you should be taking care of. And it could be something as small as, I believe Gary Ruggiero had pointed this out, it could be something as quick as $10. So, pay yourself first. Always. And it's not so much pay yourself first like, oh, well, Dan, I was already planning on using that money for this, or I was planning on taking myself out. No. The separate amount is something for you and you alone. And you want to stick with that. So, most important category first should be you. And last but not least, that they talk about here. Like I said, there's about 10 more, but we got to talk about some things, especially the Me Too movement. Pay off your debt. If you have debt, paying it off needs to be a top priority. So what you should be doing, and what I'm actually doing right now, and it's going to take a while. I know it's going to take a while, but I'm going to feel so good. Feel so good when I pay my Capital One. Yeah. So paying off your debt, you should be looking as like, all right, I got this line item I need to pay for, and how am I taking care of that on a monthly basis by paying it off? Now, them student loans, I need, Lord, it's in my throat. I can't even get it out. No, but the student loans, everybody should be having a plan in regards to, hey, how much are you putting extra to make sure that balance goes down, 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 and down, and down, and down, and down. All right, I know it seems like, but Dan, that's going to take forever. Well, when you went to college, for those that got to pay student loans, and if you like me, where it was around before Google came out, and you were still using a big box computer from HP, then you know that it's like, man, it's been a while since I've been in school. Man, if I had an action plan to pay off my student loans ever since I got out of college, it probably would be debt free. Bam. So that is the budgeting, folks. Now, I'm getting into my real estate tips. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am a realtor with EXP. I am licensed. I do need to take my test before the end of August so I can continue on with that. But if you are in need of services, if you're looking to buy a house, sell a house, or even looking to rent, 267-702-3756, be more than happy to help you out with that. So, Real Estate Express, they did an article on May 19, 2020, and spring cleaning tips for a safe environment. So, this is for my homeowners that are looking to leave their wonderful nest, looking to sell their home, or for those that may have a lease coming up and they're like, man, we need to get out of here. So what you want to do first is start to declutter. Now, decluttering and organizing the belongings in your home is an important part of any spring cleaning strategy, and it's especially important to take before starting any deep cleaning or disinfecting. So you need to look in your house. Hey, what do I need to get rid of? You know, whether it be clothes, whether it be some artifacts, whether it be crafts, whether it be some weights that you possibly don't use anymore. Get rid of the stuff. And I know what you're thinking. No, I'm going to get to that. And please don't go into a nostalgic moment when you are going through clothes and say, babe, remember this from the rock concert in 78? Oh my gosh, I remember having that throw. This is amazing. No, we got to keep this. No. Declutter literally means putting things in a box and putting them away so that way you can move forward. All right. Step 2, deep cleaning. Now, with the deep cleaning, that means, getting out them Clorox wipes, getting out that disinfectant spray, getting out the wipes, getting your hands dirty, getting some gloves on, and really doing some deep cleaning. Now, don't overexert yourself because I live in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath row home, and me decluttering and deep cleaning all in one day, oh my gosh, I'd be tired. I'd be feeling like Cinderella, what you making, Cinderella? Disney, please don't sue me. I know I butchered it. So make sure that when you are deep cleaning that you take it room by room. You got kitchen one day. Hey, you might even have the refrigerator for one day, the stove one day, the countertops for another day. It's okay, but you need to get into that practice of deep cleaning everything. And disinfectant, pretty much the same thing as before in regards to the deep cleaning. With the disinfectant, you're pretty much just spraying down and making sure that every area is covered and wiped down. So now, here are some of the commonly missed areas before we go on to our next segment, which is going to be our resume writing tips. Yeah, this guy's a career coach. I know, folks. I know. Many hats here. Many hats. Commonly missed areas, though, for the spring cleaning and deep cleaning. Your vehicles, steering wheels, door handles, cup holders, your refrigerator, both the freezer and the base of the refrigerator as well. Also, don't forget about your microwaves, your washer and dryer. Be sure to wipe that down because you never know, somebody coming in is like, oh my gosh, I gotta clean this, They just came from outside. They're putting it in, and they're just throwing it straight in there. Meanwhile, maybe Papa Joe comes downstairs and is like, I need to clean this shirt. I got myself a date tonight. Yeah, so I'm going to make sure that I look good. Let me go in here, put it on the timer. Boom, good to go. Oh, shoot. Elizabeth still got her clothes in here. Let me take this off. So, meanwhile, Pop Joe is touching all these knobs and controls and everything like that. Hey, it could be germs. So, just make sure that you are being mindful of that. Lamp switches. I got a pull cord as far as that, but literally just taking a paper towel, spraying, and just pulling down on that string. Remote control, shared pens, pencils, and markers, and even stair railings. Be mindful of all these things when you are wiping down and disinfecting your home. So we went over career tips. We went over my realtor advice as far as for the spring cleaning for those getting ready. And now I wanted to talk to you about some resume writing tips. Now, like I said before, if you are in need of your resume, if you need to get it fixed up and get it prepared to where it needs to look fashionable for these potential employees, by all means, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to assist you. But that number is 267-702-3756, or you can do them on your own. 10 resume writing tips to help you land a job. June 1st, 2020 by theonlyindeed.com. So if you just look up 10 resume writing tips to help you land a job, June 1st, you will get this. Now, are we going to go through all these 10? No, we ain't. So, we'll just pick about 5. So I'm actually going to jump down to number 2. I'll go with number 1. I know what you're thinking. Why would you do that? What's going on in number 1? Why can't you say number 1, Dan? What's the problem with number 1? Is number 1 not supposed to be there? Is number 1 shouldn't be there? What is number 1? Number 1, look for keywords in the job posting. So if you're going for a data analyst job and they keep screaming data, make sure in some way, fashion, or form that you have data listed on your resume. I can't tell you how many times that I recruited for data entry jobs, and when it came time for me to actually review somebody's resume, when they came to me and said, hey, Dan, I think I'll be a great fit. And I'm like, it's a data entry job, right? Yeah, I'll be a great fit. I could type really fast. Yeah, here's the thing. You don't have data entry listed anywhere on your resume at all. Please add something. So, folks, moving forward, make sure that you do add something that shows the keywords in the job postings is listed on your resume as well. Number 2, review resume examples for your industry. Folks, this is why I say I do it for free. And honestly, this is why you probably shouldn't have to pay for a resume writer, honestly. But time is a factor. So if you don't want to be doing it on your own, because typically it takes me about 10 to 15 minutes, but somebody who's not versed in Microsoft Word as far as editing might take a little bit longer. So reviewing resume examples for your industry, but this is honestly how I do it. If I have a teacher that's interested in getting his or her resume updated, I Google sample teacher resumes. Actually, I go a little bit higher than that and Google sample vice principal resumes or sample principal resumes because I like the formatting and I want your formatting to stick and staying out there because you are in education and you should be at the top of your game with it. So be sure to review resume examples for your industry just to get a good comparison. Make it simple and easy to read, include numbers. Oh, here we go, including numbers. executed processing of vendor contracts and implemented a standardized process, reducing contract discrepancies by 90%. Wow, that's amazing. So here's the thing, know when to include numbers. Some things might just be jargon to some folks, and some folks might be saying like, hey, oh my gosh, but stick with the facts though, folks. If you actually have it where, that you're putting in numbers into your resume, the biggest thing that you could do is folks look at attendance. So if you got a perfect attendance record, if you got accommodations, especially if you're applying for a call center job and you know that your metrics met at 95% or higher, then that is something that you want to include on the resume. Number 3, use a professional font. Something basic, please, folks. Don't use anything like Impact or Calibri. There's another one, and I know I sound like I'm some French guy. Calibri. No, you should not use the Verdana or not even the Winthrop. No, just stick to the basic professional fonts. You don't want to be all over the place, because if you're all over the place, then I can't understand, and it's like you're speaking a foreign language. So be sure that you're using a professional font. Times New Roman or Arial will suffice. Number 4, include only the most relevant information and put the most important information first. Now, that's for each job category. Please don't think like, well, my job working at this bank is way more important than me working as a cashier. But if your job as a cashier is before the one working at the bank, then you want to make sure it is in a chronological order. That means your most recent job and then scale it backwards. Now, as a cashier, if you were responsible for training, if you were responsible for, managing, opening, closing the store, then by all means, those items need to go first. And then you can get into your basic job duties. So that's what they mean by including the most relevant information first. Number 5, because you guys can look up the rest, use active language. That means using power words such as achieve, completed, or accomplished. Folks, you can just Google these things when it comes to it, or look up the synonym of it. You can Google the synonyms of these words and actually come up with it. But here we go. I'll give you actually a better example that was provided from Indeed. So, for example, you may have a job description that reads, during my time at Freedom Inc., I ran multiple team-based projects and helped each team member with various tasks associated with each project. Simplifying that, led multiple team-based projects and effectively coordinated group tasks. So those action words, those keywords, led, coordinated, those need to be in there. And of course, apply it accordingly, folks. Don't just be throwing them in there like, well, Dan said I can use these words. And it's funny that I said Google, because as I scroll down, they have 139 action verbs to make your resume stand out. Huh. So Dan, I don't even have to Google. Nope, you can just pull from this list. Yep, that's pretty much it. So, folks, I want to thank you so much for checking that out. Now, for a moment in history, I haven't come up with the concept or the name that I want to call this segment, because everything else is like credit repair, resume writing, real estate tips and such. But I will say this: if you are of African American descent, I don't care if it's 1% or 100%, at some point in your life, you were related to a king or queen. It's just inevitable. I just don't want to hear people saying like, no, man, my thing goes way too far back. Here's the thing. When you realize that, when you realize where you came from, you're going to go that much farther in life. So my first queen that I'm going to be talking about on this show is Miss Tarana Burke. Now, she's an activist. You could find her with the social media handle at Tarana Burke. That is Tarana, and then Burke is Burke. So, and I'm reading this verbatim, folks, because I ain't trying to skip nothing out. So Burke created the Me Too movement in 2006, which went viral in 2017 as hashtag Me Too, becoming the voice of survivors of sexual harassment and abuse. Burke describes her activism as empowerment through empathy, and the Me Too movement she launched for girls and women is that in action. Before the viral hashtag and the global coverage, Burke began the movement in 2006 after a young woman confided the heartbreaking details of her abuse to Burke. In October 2017, hashtag MeToo surged across social media when actress Alyssa Milano used those words to address the allegations against multi-hyphenate alleged predator Harvey Weinstein. Burke was properly credited, and in 24 hours, more than 12 million people engaged with the hashtag across Facebook alone. One of the silent breakers, jointly named Time Persons of the Year, Burke is shaping the hashtag MeToo movement into a war cry and a platform to empower women and some men to be heard above the silence of sexual abuse. So, folks, first and foremost, I honestly thought it was something that was pulled straight out of Hollywood, even for my own knowledge. So, not saying that I gave credit to any of the actresses, but I definitely want to honor Ms. Tarana Burke for putting that out there and starting the hashtag MeToo movement way back in 2006. That is insane. So, folks, know where you're going, know where you're moving forward for. Now, to think Tarana could have gave up. She could have said, like, hey, you know what, 2010 is 4 years. I'm just going to keep it plain and simple. But for the fact that after 11 years, then it started this uprising. So always stay consistent, always stay with your planning. And that moves into our motivation. So I think we're going to do that. We'll tie the African-American piece into the motivation and have it keep going. So when you are doing, and this is the fun part about being live, you just make it up as you go. When you are looking at your project, when you are looking at your goals, when you're looking at setting something up for somebody, whether it be your future family, your generation, your kids, and such, always remember that whatever you put down in life now isn't going to be something that, bam, oh man, well, I started this hashtag MeToo movement, so definitely by the following year, I'll be good to go. I'm coming out of college when this had actually started. So always think to yourself, hey, how is this going to impact the world 100 years from now? And that's what you should be looking at for all things that you do. I know that 100 years from now, somebody's going to be looking at this and saying, wow, I didn't think about using that concept for my resume. Or I didn't think that I could just simply do that by budgeting. Or I didn't think that, hey, you know what? I do need to do some deep cleaning around the house, so this will be beneficial. Think about every single thing that you want to accomplish in life and see how it's going to affect not only yourself, not only your family, but the world as a whole. And that's how you succeed in life, folks. So if you enjoyed it, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys being here, guys and gals being here. And as always, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say, because I'm trying to work on what? Creating a million millionaires. So as always, stay blessed, my fellow millionaires. Have a good one.